Hi everyone. So today I'm back with a new video. So today we'll be discussing about S3. So S3 in itself is a very vast topic, and it's also the first service that AWS have launched back in the year 2006. Today we will be concentrating on very little part about S3. Uh, S3 storage class, right? Initially it was just S3 only, but later on because of its versatile uses, so a lot of different storage class was introduced as per the uses. So some storage class have high storing capacity, high cost of storing capacity, while some others have high data transfer out pricing. So it's very different from one to other, right? So we'll have a brief discussion on those. So we'll discuss about S3 life cycle policy with a diagram. Then we can do hands-on on how to create a S3 bucket and giving it public access. Also enabling um, versioning, right? Also, how to create one IAM user and giving and attaching it with S3 policy. Yeah, S3 access policy, right? Uh, so we'll start with S3 again. As I mentioned, this was one of the very first services that AWS have launched back in the year 2006. And also you can see this is highly scalable. It's highly available, right? It's somewhere close to 99 point more than 6 times 9. It's like, I guess it's 11 times 9. And for most of the services, I mean all S3 services basically. S3 is ideally used by all segments, small and medium business, even by the enterprise uh, clients as well. I mean, this is one of the most used services in AWS, right? And it is used in variety of use cases. It is in website hosting, mobile application, data is coming from mobile application, in backup and recovery, disaster recovery, archival, right? For IoT devices, in back data, big data analysis or data warehouse. So we can like just dump the data in S3 and then the other processes can be started, right? So next part is we'll talk about S3 standard. Again, we briefly talk about what S3 standard does. I mean, basically normalize S3, right? Then we have S3 intelligent tiering, right? So this is a very unique S3 actually, right? It helps you in reducing your cost. It will automatically, and very effectively shift your data from the intelligent tiering to other, you know, classes, right? Depending on the uses, based on access frequency, or based on retrieval fee, or there are other terms and conditions that you can put over here, and then the data would be moved automatically as per your commands that you have given. So that is one of the benefit of SC intelligent tiling. So second is we can talk about S3 standard infrequent access and S3 one zone infrequent access. So basically first of all, these two storage class is used for data where you don't need to access this data very frequently. It can also reduce your cost by close to 20% actually, specifically in one zone infrequent access. The difference between standard and one zone is that in one zone basically all the data is kept in one zone. In standard it's kept in the entire region, right? So that is the primary difference actually. Uh, Now we'll talk about the last three. So this is These are basically archival space actually, right? Where you don't need to access data, or you basically needs to access the data in like once a year or twice a year, where storage cost is very less and retrieval cost is high. So you ideally want to keep those kind of data which is not used readily, right? So in instant retrieval, again it's good for retrieval, right? It requires, I mean, it needs only milliseconds for retrieval, and also it acts, I mean, it's also more cost effective than S3 standard I, or the others also, even intelligent tiring, infrequent access, one journey infrequent access also, right? Uh, but there is a very specific thing that we need to remember. S3 Glacier, in this case, retrieval cost is very high actually, right? It's higher than the previous classes. Now S3 Flexible Retrieval and Glacier Deep Archive, right? These two is very cheap actually to keep the data. But again, they do have limitations. One of the main limitation is that for flexible retrieval, I mean, data needs to be there for at least 90 days. Or if you retrieve the data before 90 days, also it will cost you. So it will cost you 90 days at least. Second, the retrieval timing is close to 5 to 12 hours, right? So in deep archive, as per I mean deep archive, it's close to 180 days actually minimum, right? And uh, I mean retrieval timing is at least like 12 hours, right? So yeah, so you need to understand that if you require data from deep archive, you need to be prepared beforehand, right? Also, obviously retrieval cost is also high, but in S3 deep archival, you can reduce the retrieval cost by using bulk retrieval. But again, for bulk retrieval, it will take around 48 hours. So you have to keep that in mind. So we talked about how to see the pricing actually. So let's see, yeah, you can see last two prices. So we'll calculate, so we'll talk about data transfer as well, but here we'll calculate, so here by default Ohio, let's do it India. I'm sitting in India since, right? So Mumbai, yeah. And so we'll select default, right? So let's take 100 GB, right? 100 GB per month. And here, let's take it 10,000. Uh, put cut copy paste request and get select also. Let's take it 10,000. Okay. So others will keep it default. So you can see S3 pricing is 2.55 USD dollars, right? For S3 the infrequent access here. So here you can see the pricing 100 GB. And so where will go? Okay. Stream and then turn off data transfer. So it's 100 GB. So again you can see, okay, we'll put 10,000 requests here and then 10,000 requests here. Right. So you can see it's 1.49. So you see now price have drastically reduced, right? So we can see how the Glacier flexible retrieval works. So here put 100 GB So you can see it's 0.45, even though so we'll put 10,000. So 10,000. Now you can see the request cost is pretty high actually. Right. So you can see before crisis request cost was not high. Like for 100 GB is 0.45, right? Now you put request cost like 10,000 request, so it jumped up to $80.81, right? Here also we'll put 10,000 again, so it's 1.17. So you can see the request cost is very high. So we'll again see S3 deep archive. That will be even better. You can see what is the costing for 100 GB again. Okay, so it's 0.20 USD, right? So you can see how significantly less it is. So you can put 10,000 cost here. It jumped drastically, like 0.9, so $0.7 again. You put 10,000 here, so 1.62. So we understand that retrieval cost is very high, right? So we have to keep that in mind. So anyways, so I was just showing you with the help of calculator how to calculate the pricing as well as what might be the difference in pricings, right? So after that we'll talk about S3 life cycle transition. So here basically what it shows is that how you can transfer data from one to the other. From S3 you can send it to S3 uh, infrequent access or intelligent trying. So basically we can send it from S3 to all the others, right? But vice versa is not possible. That means we cannot seek the data from S3 Glacier, flexible, deep archive, intelligent tiering to S3, right? Again, let's say from S3 one zone, we can send the data to, you can see the arrow marks, right? You can send the data to one, so this is one zone infrequent access. We can send the data to Glacier, flexible retrieval, or deep archive, right? So we can see this. So again, but then again, we cannot send the data to S3 Glacier instant retrieval. So these arrows clearly states from which S3, we can send the data to which S3, right? Here also you can see. So let's see intelligent tiring. Intelligent tiring will send it to everyone. That's blue here, 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 here. Okay, so it's going to send it to everyone, and depending on the terms and conditions that we put, right? Then S3 Glacier, if you see again, and deep archive. Right, so this is one thing to be remembered, the flow chart actually, the transition of the data from one part to the other, right? So I was talking about how it flows, right? Then again, we need to also understand unsupported lifestyle transition. That means, for example, I was saying any storage class data cannot be transferred to S3 standard storage class, right? Um, Again, let's say for S3 intelligent tiring storage class to S3 standard infrequent access, it will not happen, right? So it doesn't go up. It will be okay. So now we are going to create a bucket. So here we need to type S3. See this one, right? And then we need to create bucket. So create you put 9 with the words off. So you see, the bucket is by default not accessed for public, right? Block all public access. So you can see. So we will uncheck it. So and we will acknowledge it. Now versioning is disabled by default. We will enable the versioning. We can put tags, but we will not do it. So default encryption again we see encryption is by default. Side-to-side encryption and other encryption also. So we'll put it default as of now. We can create a new video for having a discussion on the encryption keys, whatever encryption that is there. So create bucket. So bucket is created. We'll get inside the bucket and we'll upload. So files. So it's a good number of files, but I'll go with a smallest file so that we can just show you how to do it. So upload and then upload, right? It's getting uploaded nice, right? So we'll see whether it can be accessed publicly or not. So this is a public URL. From the properties you can see copy, and then right click will open in private window. Let's see. Okay, so policies I think we have not created. So policies will create it now. So we'll go to permission. You can see here is okay. So see, policy is not there, so we'll create a policy generator. We'll use bucket. I think let's zoom it more so you can see policy. In principle, we'll put star. Action will put get object, get object, get object, get object. I will put get object. So we need DRN, and this one you can always go there. This is the best part from where you can get DRN, copy from here. So put it over here, DRN. Statement generate. This is so okay, successfully policy. So now we'll go to here, we'll refresh it. Scroll down. Let's open this one. Open it again. Great. We did not need this. So, successfully done. Okay, so we can see. So this is the public access. It's coming up, right? So and yeah. So that's about it for. So also we can obviously access it with IAM user also. So you can put in one IAM user, right? So you can see what you can do is user, right? And then you can put add user. User name is AWS Moss. Bucket. So custom, and then so password. So we'll do is put a random password. Right. That's the policy. Okay. So you can see S3 full access. So you can click on this and then next, create user, and then I can see this download CSV. Let me show you open the CSV. So we can get the credentials from here. So there's the username, there's the password. Let's again new tab. What will happen? So username and then the password. So I need so here we can have S3 full access to the bucket. Right, the same thing. United. Now you might be thinking, what about EC2 instance? Right, since you are given full access of the S3, we can see over here we don't have any access and error occurred, so we don't have any access to other, right? So it will be only S3 that we will be able to access. So that's about it. So we'll keep the class going for S3 other services also, and how to access S3 separately also. We define other methods, right? So as of now, thank you, and do like and share and subscribe.